How's it going, everybody? My name is Blitzwanger, and I am joined by the one and only Unlimited Magic, aka Gamer, aka Dean, aka Captain Crunch.
Yes,
for
you got it.
A brand new super podcast. What are we talking about today? Are we going to talk about Death Note?
Episode 2. Wait, what?
Oh, awkward.
What did you say?
Death Note, no?
Did you say?
Isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah, dude. We're just going to do a 180. We're actually going to be going to a different anime now.
Yeah, this is the...
We're not even going to start with episode 1 of Death Note. We're going to start with episode 2 of Death
yeah,
Note.
and then next week it's going to be like episode 3 of Naruto, and then episode 4 of like Megalobox, and then we're just going to keep varying it up and try to make sense of it all. Be like, I'm really curious how how Goku turned into Kira. That's very interesting. Like, how did that transition?
That sounds like
that'd be a funny show.
Jump Force.
Real? There you go. Dude.
I mean, that isn't that what that is though?
We should have hit up Bandai Namco.
That would have been actually a good podcast.
Yeah, and did like a whole like pre-show for Jump Force.
That would have been great. Isn't it coming out in like a few weeks? February?
So a couple
February
weeks.
15th or something?
Yeah. A couple of weeks at this point.
Yeah.
But, ladies and gents, in all seriousness, we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super episode number 2, which is titled To the Promised Resort, Vegeta Goes on a Family Trip, or as it's known in Japanese,
Yakusoku no Risotto.
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 I like risotto.
Exclamation mark. Vegeta ga Kazoku Ryoko.
Wait, is that Vegeta's name in Japan? Vegeta?
Maybe. Actually,
interesting.
That I didn't even realize. I wasn't even paying attention, but it sounds exactly like Vegeta.
Yeah, interesting. Huh.
Okay, so what's the summary of this
episode summary? Goku goes to King Kai's planet to train with King Kai after being very difficult to convince Chi-Chi to leave, which was pretty funny because she's just literally like, yeah, just come visit every now and again, remember?
I'm like trying to follow along,
and
you
when I came up with that,
I'm like, where am I? What are you reading?
Okay. Meanwhile, Vegeta, Bulma, and Trunks take a family trip to a resort. Bulma and Trunks are enjoying the family time together, while Vegeta is bothered by the fact that Goku gets to train. Fed up with what he considers a waste of time, Vegeta flies away and heads back to Capsule Corporation to train. Somewhere in space, Beerus and Whis scour an alien planet in search of dinosaur meat. Very rare dinosaur meat. They are confronted by the planet's strongest dweller, but he proves to be no match for them. Shortly afterwards, Beerus destroys the planet in order to have another vision of his destined opponent, the Super Saiyan God. So that is interesting. Now, I will say, a better episode than episode 1, right off the bat, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it was just funnier. Like it wasn't necessarily like actiony or like story driven.
Well, it also built something new, right? Like you see, the problem is I saw Resurrection F, but had I not seen it, then in this episode would be even better because half the episode,
fair enough,
or like a third of the episode is spent on new characters, right? Where we learn
Whis and
Beerus.
And Whis,
yeah, and a new planet, which looks cool. I love that these little guys, like little bean guys in the forest, try to attack this dinosaur. They just throw these axes, and the dinosaur's like, "Oh, yeah, that's not gonna do anything." Skadoosh, just burns them all, and then this little dude shows up and just goes ham on him, and then they're all carrying him.
Yeah, I mean, I think all in all, this episode was definitely a lot better. I think it was just like it was just funny. Like watching it for a second time, it was just funny to watch, like Vegeta and like with the family vacation. Like I love when the squid when he like
him, and he's just about to destroy
Super
the
Saiyan.
Entire restaurant.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was just the whole even the whole like contrast between like by all accounts, you could look at that and be like, "Oh, Vegeta's kind of a terrible father in some regards, right?" But then at the same time, they do plant like little moments where they do a flashback to the anime. Remember where he says like, "If you land a punch on me, I will take you to an amusement park."
Lands a punch and then fully punches his son.
Like, stop crying, bro. Get up.
I love that. Land a punch. Yeah. Okay, lands a punch and then just
challenge accepted.
Knocks him
Skadoosh,
out.
just knocks him out. Like, okay,
but,
good job, son.
Vegeta, like that's the thing. Vegeta doesn't necessarily show it in the most conventional way.
Yeah.
He does it in his own way, and
Yeah.
it's so. And dude, I'm letting you know, it's gonna be way more apparent in, I don't know exactly how many episodes, but soon, very soon, within the next few episodes.
Yeah.
There's a great episode, and it's just it has to do with Vegeta. So look forward to that one.
I mean, either way, I think they've done a good job with it, because you can still see that he does care, you know, through those little moments. So I think that that's pretty, and just the fact that he's going through putting in the effort of like actually going on the vacation, even though you could see it really does piss him off. Like, he's not happy there. He's just like constantly upset by the concept of being second, which I think is a really cool idea in general. Like the whole idea of where he acknowledges that he's not as strong as Goku. He says, even like where he says that Goku defeated Majin Buu, which means he's stronger than me. So it's like, he's aware of that. He's no longer like delusional about like, oh yeah, we're equal, or I'm stronger than Goku. Yeah. He acknowledges that Goku's stronger, but then at the same time, he like says that he will catch up and hopefully supersede Goku. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's a cool concept as far as like that he's no longer like cluelessly stubborn.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely like, it is like you could definitely see a character progression for him like throughout the series, is which I really like, and you can see that like with time the characters do actually, they're like their actual dynamic characters. But also another thing that I wanted to mention was, I actually, now looking back on this, I really like the way they set things up, because the way they do, like, well, they'll go to Earth and they'll talk about how they'll show all of the life of how Goku's training, and Vegeta's also, he wants to with his family.
Yeah, like last episode was focused on Goku's family. Now we got Vegeta's family.
Yeah, and we still get Whis and Beerus every episode, like little by little. So it's like you show us one side, like characters, you show us the other side, and then you slowly move them together, and then you like they do a good job of setting it up. Actually, I've realized.
Yeah. So for me, I agree as far as like I think it's cool that it's like they start with the things we're all kind of familiar with, right? Like the last episode featured very little of Beerus and Whis, right? And predominantly characters that we're aware of. And then now they've got, okay, let's do it like 60% characters that we're aware of, but then 40% is Beerus and Whis. So it's like, I think that that's a cool tease that they're building towards. And of course, the big reveal at the end is the new Super Saiyan form, I guess, the Super Saiyan God, which, again, the movie kind of ruins that a little bit, right? Had I not seen that, I'd be like, more like, what the heck is that? But that is a cool tease. The silhouette does make it seem like it's obviously Goku, like the visions, the premonitions that he has. It looks like Goku's, I guess, outline for his character. But either way, I think it was a cool tease. I guess from there, best moment, worst moment for you?
I honestly I think for me, because I've seen it already, I think the first half of the episode was more fun for me, because it was like kind of like refresher, you know, of like, you know, seeing Vegeta with his family and like.
So more the casual thing.
About that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because.
That's fair. There's nothing wrong with that.
As Beerus and Whis are, they shine later in the series. Like they shine like a diamond later in the series.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Like diamond.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, exactly like that. Like they're a lot more interesting once we.
So worst moment was Beerus and Whis?
Sorry.
Worst moment was Beerus and Whis for you? Oh, you cut out.
I wouldn't say worst moment.
Okay. So like least exciting, I guess.
Yeah, right? I would say least exciting.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. For me, I don't really have a worst moment in the episodes.
Yeah. For me, it's probably the flip, because I enjoyed. I don't know. Like,
wait,
you see,
what do you mean the flip?
For me, the best moment was Beerus and Whis. More specifically, the best moment was when when Whis shows up on that dinosaur, and I love that he got like a countdown going, right, for him. And what I'm fascinated by is this, because even the movie, from what I remember, didn't really show any of this. How powerful is Whis? Because
no comment.
Yeah, so you see, this is what I'm super curious about because we get on the verge of like, he's like, hey, I'm still gonna have to take this. And then you see this little guy power up, and Whis is just like super calm, still like doesn't break a sweat, seems to be super like ready to go. Because I suspect that he might be even more powerful than Beerus. And maybe that's kind of the twist is that yeah, he serves Beerus, but at the same time, he's like the only one maybe that could like stop him or something along those lines. So that's what made me like excited and stoked for the series as far as like I want to see how powerful Whis is. Do we find out? I don't know. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil or say anything.
Okay.
But all I'm gonna
super
say is you're gonna
powerful,
be waiting a while.
Oh, okay,
Because before they talk about anything related to Whis, it's like it takes time.
That's fine.
So,
I just,
yeah.
I hope, it's just that this scene teased it, right? Because I was like, oh, here we go. Let's see Whis mess this dude up. Like, I was expecting, even if it's just like one strike with his cane or something, you know? But it's that tease that goes like, okay, fascinating. I'm curious to see, like, how OP is Whis, you know?
This is amazing, like, doing this because I've seen it.
Yeah.
You haven't.
Yeah.
So hearing you talk about everything and me already knowing what's happening, it's like I'm just like I can't say anything, man. I can't.
Yeah.
I want to.
But that was my favorite moment. Because I just feel like I don't know, whatever it might be, hopefully it ends up being pretty awesome. Obviously, Beerus lays the smackdown on this fool with like literally one finger. He just goes like blocks everything. Which was like, what the like come on, dude. At least pretend. At least, like, just to build up his confidence, knowing that you're gonna destroy the planet. Which, by the way, I guess here's my like worst moment because I still enjoyed the Vegeta moment and everything. I don't understand the way they introduce Whis and Beerus. They don't seem to be like villains in the traditional sense. Like they're not villains like Frieza is a villain or Raditz was a villain, kind of like.
Well, you saw the movie.
Yeah. So again, since I'm not sure, I assume it's not canon because it can't be like both everything that happens in the movie.
Oh, I'm not talking about Resurrection F.
Oh yeah. As far as the Broly movie,
Broly.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that, but
the problem is because Broly. So this is the thing: because you've seen Broly, like Super Broly, and it is canon. Like it is 100% canon, and it follows events right after Super.
Yeah. So it's so
like that's the problem.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
You've seen certain.
Yeah, I know, but I would have never assumed that Whis or Beerus were like villains in the traditional sense, even by what they've shown us so far.
But they've blown up like 2 planets now.
Well, that's the issue. Is that they didn't really give us any good motivation for why. You know,
he's the god of destruction.
Exactly.
That's his job.
I know, but what I mean is like, okay, is he like restoring balance in the universe, or like is there a counter to that, like a god of creation and so on and so forth? Because we never get any type of idea behind it. So it's like he just mindlessly like these guys, he literally goes to eat, right? So like his motivation is to enjoy the most gluttonous and delicious foods in the world, right? Or in the universe, sorry.
Yep.
And then so he shows up at this planet for this rare dinosaur meat. That's what he's gonna eat from there, right? So before he even eats this thing, he reflects the damage back at this fighter, which, by the way, also interesting because he never actually like fights this guy. He only is defensive and reflective, which was kind of cool. Like as far as like, okay, maybe he's not like super duper villainous either. Because again, if Frieza was fighting that dude, he'd just like laser beam him right through the stomach or something. That's what Frieza would do. He wouldn't just deflect.
I think the difference here between Frieza and Beerus is that Frieza is almost like Vegeta in a sense, where he's kind of like power hungry, right? But if you're a
Kind of,
god
yeah.
of destruction
But
and you
Frieza's
are just the
motivations have always
powerful,
made sense, right? Like in terms of like where it would be like, okay, well, he took out the Saiyans because he was getting concerned about them. Like where he was like, okay, they're growing like more and more powerful, and they might be a challenge to him. He takes
Yeah.
out the other planets that he takes over. He takes them over in order to harvest them for the resources and continue to build up his army, or then sell off those planets, right?
but a
Like
god of destruction is way more powerful than any
I
army
get it.
and any.
I get it, but the problem is they didn't explain any of his motivation. Like, so his motivation is just like, I'm just going to destroy stuff just cause.
Yeah.
That's horrible, bro.
Well, they do explain more later.
Well, okay,
but
that's my point. But for me, that was the worst part of the episode because, like, I need to have some why? Literally, we saw these like cute guys going for a hunt, get shreked by the dinosaur, and then he just blows up their planet. He doesn't even eat the meat. There was like no reason for it. You know?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I would
this is the thing,
understand. I would understand if there was even some sort of a cool thing of like setting up like, oh, okay, I don't know. Let's say he like it's a planet that's dying or something like that. So then he just destroys them in that sense. Or if he was like Galactus, where it's like, hey, he needs to destroy planets to like power himself up and so on and so forth. You know, and like certain worlds get selected by Silver Surfer, which is kind of what Whis would be, right? Like Galactus sends Silver Surfer to the planets. He discovers and he's like, yeah, Galactus, this is a good one to eat. And then Galactus like shows up and eats the planet. That's
yeah, but it's also one of those things.
which,
where,
by the way, I guess kind of makes Beerus a ripoff a bit of Galactus and Silver Surfer, because it's literally kind of the same thing. Whis goes to the planet to retrieve the food. Like, come
yeah,
on, man.
I mean, Whis is also Whis is his car in a sense, like it's his transportation.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
So, because oddly enough, Beerus can't actually just travel across the universe.
Wait,
but
so how the hell does Beerus show up on that planet?
with Whis is his
No,
travel.
I know,
companion.
but yeah, but he's on a different planet, is he not? He's sitting in like some cave, remember? And then he's waiting, like the sand clock is ticking.
Yes.
And Whis is in the meantime with this dinosaur situation, and he's talking, but he says like, "Hey, I still have whatever it was, like a minute or something, or however many seconds left to retrieve this meat."
Well,
I think he
Yeah.
can. He's just lazy.
yeah, that's probably more
But
it.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope that it gets explained. I'm just saying that right now there's no clear motivation or rhyme or reason for him to just destroy stuff. Which I guess maybe
I think
if they're
that's what
trying to
makes him the
establish,
villain, though.
yeah. If they're, this is my point. If they're trying to establish him as the villain, then I guess that makes sense. But to me, even with that case, like a great villain needs to have a motive, right? Like the reason why Joker is so great in The Dark Knight is because he has a motive. He's trying to show how messed up humans are naturally, you know, and that we're incredibly selfish and so on and so forth. He's trying to like kind of show the worst of mankind on the biggest scale. Frieza was power hungry, but again, there was motivation behind how he behaved. Raditz, most of the villains had some sort of like reason of why.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. They did have like a motivation and a reason.
Yeah.
But it might be more that they're not trying to set him up as a villain, but more just as an anti-hero. You know,
Yeah.
like he's not the good guy. He's not the bad guy.
Yeah.
He just lives forever because he's the god of destruction,
Mhm.
and he does his job of, you know, destroying things.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you know, it's like if someone pisses him off, he'll destroy you. He'll destroy you. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't give him the right food, he'll destroy you. He doesn't care. But
Yeah.
like he's not.
I'm just
going
wondering
out
how
of
the
his
hell
way
we're
destroy
supposed to
things.
then think he's a nice guy.
Sorry.
Well, dude, he literally went out of his way. He was sleeping, teleports over to this planet, and blows it the hell up. What do you mean out of? It's not like he was like driving and then this planet is in his way and he's like, oh, you know what? Let me just blow this thing up. Like he literally goes there. That's the definition of going out of your way.
That's true, actually.
So that's
You
what
know
I'm
what?
saying.
Maybe he is the
Now,
villain.
yeah,
Maybe
that's what
he
I'm
is
saying.
the
Like in
villain.
the big context, now I don't know if I could be like, oh yeah, Beerus is a good guy. He literally has now blown up 2 planets for no apparent reason.
Yeah, it's
Just
killed like billions of people for no reason.
yeah, like however many life forms are on that planet. It's like what?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I hope it
Yeah.
makes sense. I hope there's some sort of like a point in time where it's like, hey, Beerus needs to do what he's doing because it's like the balance of the universe or whatever it is. You know, like even if it's something as pretentious as that, but just something.
Yeah.
Like give me a bone to be like not completely going like, wait, what? So why would
Well,
Goku
I mean,
be
he's
friends
also
with him
kinda-
now?
He's not power hungry, but he is looking for like a challenge. Like he's looking for the Super Saiyan God, right?
Yes.
So that's would I guess technically be his motivation right now. In terms of just destroying stuff, I guess he's one, I guess evil, but also like God of destruction. Like I mean, it all just comes back to the fact that a God of destruction exists
needs to destroy.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's it. Like that's the entire.
That's the
purpose.
premise. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
Like,
I mean,
I guess like that's the idea.
Yeah. Which is fine. I'm just curious to see if we're gonna ever get anything.
Although
further
gods
than
aren't really gods. No, everybody's a god basically in Dragon Ball. Like if you die, you come back. If you die, you go and you can still train
Yeah.
and still technically come back to the material world. It's because remember when Goku was Super Saiyan 3, but he had the halo over his head?
Yeah, the little thing.
Like he was
yeah.
dead, but he was still fighting
Yeah, and becoming more powerful. So,
and becoming more powerful. Like it's like technically Goku's a god, you know?
well, I
like-
guess that's the whole idea about
Because he
Super
can
Saiyan
travel
God,
through space.
right?
Well, I don't know if he can breathe space, like oxygen.
He can
Well,
teleport.
actually- but he can teleport.
Yeah.
And he can travel across the universe and like instantly. So it's like, what makes him any different from a god?
That's a good question. One to which I think you should be answering, not me, not the guy who's seen 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Super.
Well, I don't want to. Well, I mean, I know what makes him a god. I just don't.
I mean, he becomes
I
Super
don't-
Saiyan God. That's pretty obvious. But either way, that's my point. For me, I hope that Beerus becomes either more well fleshed out.
Would you prefer
as,
him
like,
to become the hero, or become a good guy, or continue to be the villain?
well, again,
What would
you
you
and I,
prefer?
spoiler alert, we have seen Dragon Ball, the movie, the Broly movie,
Super Broly.
the Super Broly movie. So obviously that kind of spoils that he does become a good guy by some account because he's hanging out with Vegeta
Yeah.
and Bulma and
without destroying them. Yeah.
yeah, and he stays with
Spoiler
the baby the whole time. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I guess big spoiler alert. So either way though, what I'm super curious about, no pun intended, to me, there needs to be some like they can't just be like, oh, and now he's a good guy, you know, because it's like, yeah, you could do that sometimes if you're like Deadpool and you like killed some people or something like that, like where it was like somebody bad or
Yeah.
something along those
Well,
lines.
you
It
can
could, like,
kind of make the argument.
but when you've destroyed planets, and yes, this is only 2 that we've seen. He's done it probably hundreds of thousands of times. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little bit more like sinful, I would imagine, by most accounts. You know, it's like just blowing up
But
entire
if
planets.
it's your job, like if you were created for that specific reason,
yeah.
does it make you the villain though?
Okay.
Like, that's the thing.
Okay, that's a good question. You see, if we find out that there's someone else who created him or like pushed him to do this or something along those lines, then I could see like him becoming like the good guy as far as like, oh, it wasn't like his free will. It's just like the way he
he's
was
just-
programmed.
That's how yeah.
Right.
That's just
So,
how it is.
because then it's like it's almost he becomes a sympathetic character, right? Like where he might not want to do this personally, but he's programmed that way, kind of like the Winter Soldier was. Remember in
yeah, that's a good comparison.
the Captain America movies, where it's like he's not villainous, but he was programmed that way.
Yeah, like he
right?
was hypnotized and brainwashed.
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
all that stuff.
So if that's kind of a similar comparison with Beerus, that'd be cool, man. I'd be interested in that. But yeah, okay. Preview for next week. Yeah, or do you have something else to say?
I don't. Wait, are you showing the preview, like the video? Or
No.
are you just reading it?
I'm just reading it. The title.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm reading the.
just the title. Okay.
Just the title. And then I have to guess what's the episode about. Where's the rest of the dream? In search of the Super Saiyan God. So interesting.
Mm.
First episode, focused mostly on our heroes, very little Beerus. Second episode, a little more Beerus, less our heroes, but still a lot of our favorite heroes. This one seems like it might be focused predominantly on Beerus, just based on the second part of the episode. Name: In Search of the Super Saiyan God. So I'm guessing we're probably going to get to see Beerus just mess up some more planets as he like tries to find Goku or find the Super Saiyan God. He just goes from planet to planet, just smashes things.
Yeah,
it's fascinating though to think right now, like having seen the Broly movie, if Beerus would have run into his planet instead. I guess at that time he wasn't a Super Saiyan yet, but still.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if right now in Super he does visit that planet and you just didn't know? That'd be a cool. That'd be such a sick Easter egg, wouldn't it?
That would be so, because they did this in what, 2015.
Yeah.
So they would have had to set this up since 2015.
That's what I'm saying. How sick would that be?
That would be insane. But I actually don't remember, so I'm not sure.
That'd be so sick. I'd be really, really curious if that actually happens.
We're gonna have to wait and watch the next episode.
Yeah, and then where's the rest of the dream? So the dream is like Beerus's dream. I assume his premonitions.
Yeah, when he sleeps.
Yeah. So I guess that's a reference. So I'm guessing it's going to be a predominantly Beerus type episode where him and Whis are traveling across multiple planets. Which, by the way, I could watch a show just with those two because their dynamic is funny. It's like a buddy cop thing of like where Whis is like more peaceful and reasonable and everything. Beerus is just like, we don't need this thing. Poof, just you know,
they balance each other out.
Yeah, shoot and then ask questions later. That's kind of Beerus's approach. And then Whis is much more like, hey, how you doing, man? What's up? you know?
Well, what I like is that they're consistent characters throughout the series.
Okay, cool.
So in that case, like you're gonna enjoy pretty much all of the scenes that they're in. Like they're actually really great.
Yeah. So I'm excited to find out
forward.
that. Anything else you wanted to add?
Not much right now. I mean, we're still we're only the second episode in, so we're still early on. But once we start getting like into the anime, and
you're like, once we get to episode 80, that's when it gets real good.
Well, I would say 80 is pretty good. But I would say episode like 20, anywhere from 10 and onwards.
I'm actually
really
curious
good.
now, like what episode 80 is. Like, what's the title for episode 80?
Oh, it's 80 is actually might be the last episode.
Awaken,
100 something's last episode.
Awaken your sleeping battle spirits, Son Gohan's fight.
Oh, that's this is this is the survival saga. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, this is a great. Is this the? Oh yeah. This is the final arc. So this is my favorite arc. Yeah, so once we get to that one, which is 77, that's where I'm going to be super hyped. But I'm super hyped for all of the other ones too.
Here's one other question that came up for me. And I'm not sure if I just missed it, so maybe I should pay more attention. Does Beerus have a home planet?
No comment.
Oh, okay, good. So that's important. Yeah, because I was wondering about that. Like, as a god of destruction, is there a place he calls home? That's all I'm saying. So I guess we'll find out. Alrighty, ladies and gents, thank you so very much for watching another super podcast. We'll be back next week with episode number 3. Where's the rest of the dream? In search of the Super Saiyan God. We'll see what exactly it all means. We'll see if my prediction was correct. And of course, we'll hopefully find out more about Beerus, Whis. How are they going to get to Earth ultimately? Or will they get to Earth? Will they encounter the Super Saiyan God elsewhere? That and much more. Do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and of course, most importantly, let us know down in the comment section below what you thought of the second episode of Dragon Ball Super. Any other special shout outs or anything you need to plug, Mr. Gamer?
Nope. Otherwise, I just want to say subscribe obviously to what channels is going on for you again?
Fanboy Potion.
Mine's Captain Crunch and yours is
Fanboy Potion.
So Fanboy Potion, and Captain Crunch. Subscribe to channels so you get them every week. Hit that like button and don't forget to hit the bell too, guys.
The bell.
YouTube is
just hit the bell. Just any bell that you have around you.
Just bell. Yeah. You have a bell in your house. Just ring it like crazy.
Yeah, that sounds annoying.
But yeah, that's everything.
Yeah, we'll
Thanks,
catch you guys next
for
week.
watching.
Peace out. See you later,
Peace.
alligators. Bye-bye, guys.